My name is Alina, and last night at dinner I told my stepdad I was accepting my dream internship. He slammed his fork down and said I wasn't allowed to make decisions without his permission. I stood my ground, and in an instant, he grabbed my phone and smashed it to the floor, glass scattering everywhere. My mom froze, but I smiled. He thought I was broken. What he didn't know was that I'd planned this for days. My real phone was hidden, recording everything, while a backup phone played the part. 2 days earlier, I'd discovered he'd taken a loan in my mom's name, money that didn't match our bills. I placed a tiny Wi-Fi camera under a picture frame, synced it to cloud backups, and gathered proof of his controlling behavior. The next morning at breakfast, I calmly played the footage for him, followed by the loan documents. He tried to deny it, then accused me of blackmail, but I told him we were meeting a legal aid counselor that afternoon, and if he refused, the police would get everything. By evening, my mom had her own bank account, legal protection, and full control of the bills. That night, he packed his things and left. I smiled because for the first time, I wasn't afraid, and the truth was finally on my side. He thought he'd broken my phone, but all he'd really done was break his own control over us. Ever since my mom married my stepdad, the house stopped feeling like home. Every move I made came with a rule, where I could go, who I could talk to, even when I could use my own bank card. He called it discipline, but it was really about control. My internship offer wasn't just a job, it was my way out. But to him, it was a threat to his authority. My mom told me to keep my head down until I graduated, but I knew waiting wouldn't change him. If I confronted him openly, he'd twist it, guilt-trip me, and make me feel like the problem. So I made a plan, quiet, careful, and sharp. I set up a tiny voice recorder in my bag, swapped my real phone for an old backup, turned on automatic cloud backups, and hid a small camera under the corner of a picture frame in the living room. I didn't just want to stand up to him. I wanted proof, and I wanted an end to his control once and for all. That night, my goal was simple: push him just far enough to show his true face, and catch every second of it. I sat at the table, calm but deliberate, challenging his rules with facts he couldn't ignore: my work schedule, the internship safety policies, even how it wouldn't cost the family a single cent. Each word I spoke wasn't just an argument, it was bait. His eyes narrowed, jaw tight. Then came the line I was waiting for: "That phone makes you think you can talk back to me." I leaned forward and said quietly, "My phone doesn't give me a voice. My hard work does." In that instant, he shot up, yanked my phone off the table, and slammed it to the floor. The crack echoed through the room like a gunshot. My mom flinched, ready to step in, but I caught her eye and shook my head. "Not yet." He smirked, thinking he'd shut me down. What he didn't know was that the real phone, the one in my bag, had been recording every word, every sound. And so had the tiny camera hidden just a few feet away. 2 days before that night, I stumbled across something that changed everything: a bank statement in the mail, addressed to my mom, showing a personal loan she never mentioned. The withdrawal dates didn't match any of our bills, and the amount was far too high for our monthly expenses. My gut told me the truth. My stepdad had taken the money in her name, and she had no idea. That's when the plan became more than just defending my internship. It became about protecting her. I pulled my old phone from the back of my closet, polished it, put on a new screen protector, and made it look like my daily phone. The real one stayed hidden deep inside my school bag, silent and ready. I checked my smartwatch connection twice, making sure it would sync everything to the cloud without him knowing. Then, I peeled back the corner of a living room picture frame and fixed a tiny Wi-Fi camera in place, angled perfectly toward the dining table. Every movement, every word, every flash of anger would be documented. This wasn't just about proving I was right. It was about ending his grip over our lives once and for all. Shards of glass littered the floor, catching the kitchen light like tiny knives. I knelt down, sweeping them into the dustpan without a word. No shouting, no tears, just silence. I could feel him watching me, waiting for me to break, to plead, to apologize. Instead, I gave him nothing. That silence was my weapon. In my room, I locked the door and opened my laptop. The footage was already there. The hidden camera had captured every second. His voice, his words dripping with contempt the moment the phone shattered. My smartwatch had synced the audio from the recorder in my bag, layering his rage over crystal clear video. At the same time, 3 automatic emails had been sent from my cloud account. One to my private email, one to my aunt, and one to a legal aid contact I'd researched days earlier. Each email contained the footage, screenshots of the loan agreement, and the appointment confirmation for the next morning. While he thought he'd destroyed my phone and my confidence, I was already 3 moves ahead. And tomorrow, I would let him know just how little control he had left. The next morning, the kitchen felt heavy, like the air itself was waiting for something to happen. I sat down at the table, poured myself coffee, and started with casual small talk. Then, in the calmest voice I could manage, I said, "About last night. It wasn't okay. I'm still taking the internship." He leaned back in his chair, that smug half-smile on his face. "And where's your phone now? Remember, you don't make moves without my permission." I looked him straight in the eye. "Then you should probably see this." I flipped open my laptop and pressed play. His voice filled the room, the insults, the threats, the crash of the phone hitting the floor. My mom's hands trembled around her coffee cup. He laughed, dismissing it as fake, but I switched to the next tab, the bank loan documents, dates, amounts, all in my mom's name. "This," I said evenly, "isn't fake. And neither is the fact that we're meeting a legal aid counselor this afternoon. If you show up angry, this footage goes to the police. Your choice." For the first time, he didn't have a comeback. My mom lifted her eyes to meet his, steady and unflinching. He sat there, silent, his power crumbling between us. I knew he wouldn't give up that easily. Men like him rarely walk away without one last attempt to claw back control, maybe by changing passwords, smashing the camera, or trying to turn the family against me. So I stayed one step ahead. By midday, I posted a polite but pointed message in the family group chat. "We're going through something serious. Please keep us in your prayers. If anything happens to me or Mom, contact Aunt Sana. She has all the details." That wasn't just a warning. It was insurance. I emailed the internship HR, confirming I'd be joining on Monday. They responded with support and even offered remote onboarding if things at home became difficult. That night, he tried his old tactics, searching my bag, throwing guilt, then softening his voice as if he'd suddenly grown concerned. "I just want what's best for you," he said, almost convincing. I met his gaze, steady. "What's best for me is making my own choices. And about that phone you smashed." His eyes softened, thinking he'd finally gotten through to me. "It was never my real phone." His face twitched, confusion flashing into anger. "What do you mean?" I let the silence hang for a beat. "The real one was recording the entire time. You thought I was broken, but I was ready." I smiled that night not because I enjoyed watching my phone shatter, but because I knew it wasn't the thing that really broke. What shattered was his control over us. For the first time, I stood in front of him without fear, with truth in my hands and proof to back it up. The next day, my mom and I sat in a legal aid office. The counselor listened, reviewed the footage, the loan documents, and explained our options: financial protection, a separate bank account, and, if needed, a restraining order. My mom signed the paperwork right there, claiming control of the bills and her own finances. When we got home, he tried one more time to bluff, to intimidate. But the moment he realized the evidence was real and that we were willing to use it, something in him deflated. By the following morning, he was packing his bags. No shouting this time, no threats, just the quiet weight of a man who knew he'd lost. That's why I smiled. Because he thought smashing my phone would silence me. But the truth is, my silence was never surrender. It was strategy. And when the moment came, I didn't just take back my voice. I took back our freedom,